Have you taken a cognitive test?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test?
Why would you take a test, Joe Biden? I don't know. Let's see.
And Crump was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did. And back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap.
Aside from all that, option XM free fingers.
I don't hate liberals. I feel sad for them that they're mentally challenged. It'll spread like a bug. It'll spread like a virus, but it's a good virus. It's the virus of intelligence.
The Virus of Intelligence clothing line is relaunching today with brand new shirts, masks, hoodies, and other products too. On the screen you can take a peek at some of the products we have for purchase. We have I Don't Hate Liberals shirts, What Sense Does That Make hoodies, Hey Free Thinker shirts, anything and everything you could ever ask for. And there's plenty more where that came from. Hey Freethinkers, Chandler here, and Joe Biden is outright refusing to take a mental capacity test. Now this comes after months and months of Trump supporters, independents, left-wing people, and Joe Biden supporters coming out to tell Biden that he needs to take a mental capacity test to confirm the fact that he is capable of running for president. It's been said for a long time that Joe Biden has dementia, and honestly, it's really hard to deny. He's shown a lot of the symptoms and the factors and markers, each and everything that really points towards dementia. And of course the left has tried to spin it around and say Trump has dementia or Trump's on Adderall or other crazy things that have no basis to them beside the fact that Trump sweats at times. But no, Joe Biden, who clearly has dementia, is refusing to take a mental capacity test, gets to skate free completely on by. Now this comes after Joe Biden was interviewed by a reporter and they were just talking about a few things, and the reporter asked Joe Biden, will you take a mental test? And Joe Biden straight up said, no man, why would I take a mental capacity test? And of course, it being Joe Biden, well, he couldn't really stop right there, so after saying he refused to take a mental capacity test, he then said to the reporter, who happens to be black, apparently I have to mention that, he mentions to the reporter that, that's like telling you, before you got on this network, did you take a cocaine test? Roll the clip.
Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh?
Okay, so now you've seen just a little bit more of that clip. Before I play the rest, though, I just have to say, you know, what sense does any of this make? You know, you really have to ask yourself, because Joe Biden going onto this network and being asked one of these questions, especially a question like that, you would expect his campaign team to go to him and say, okay, Joe Biden, if you're asked to take a mental capacity test, here is your canned response that you have to give to that. You know, when a presidential election comes around, you have to have canned responses for everything. You have to have something prepared for if they ask that one question that you know your campaign will be hurted by, or harmed by, I should say, if you answer incorrectly. This is exactly what happened here. So not only does this call into question Joe Biden's own capacity to run an election or be involved in an election and run for office, this calls into question the people he hires in his whole campaign team. Because you should have expected them to go to Joe Biden and say, all right, Joe, Uncle Joe, Creepy Joe, this is what you need to say to stay in this race while also avoiding this whole scandal. Because now Joe Biden is trending on Twitter because he refused to take this mental capacity test. Trump War Room, a much better war room and campaign front for Trump than Joe Biden, of course, posted this video, among a few others, and is now getting a lot of traction and heat off of this, because Joe Biden is the one that's saying, no, I will not take a mental capacity test. Trump and his team and the 2020 Trump election team are now profiting majorly off of Joe Biden saying that he will not take a mental capacity test, because now it just goes into every single thing that they've been going for these past few months. But the interview does not stop there. Let me play just a little bit more for you and then we'll react.
Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say to President Trump, who brags about his test and makes your mental state an issue for voters?
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Did you watch that? Look, come on, man.
Okay, quick question. What does this have to do with an elephant or a lion or anything? You know, maybe Joe Biden's actually making a reference to something. He used to be able to do that. What does Trump and not knowing the difference between an elephant and a lion have to do with anything? Somebody tell me in the comments, or maybe I'll find it while I'm editing this video. I have no idea. What does Trump and knowing the difference between an elephant and a lion have to do with anything regarding Joe Biden taking a mental capacity test, or mental capacity or intelligence in general? Let's just continue.
Come on, man. I know you're trying to goad me, but I mean, I'm so forward looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or stand with the president in debates. There can be plenty of time.
Okay, another question before we continue with that interview, because I've been having to pause it a couple times. What does Joe Biden being involved in debates seem forward thinking? Presidential debates are something that have been happening for centuries now. Between almost every single presidential candidate, we have had debates in some form or another. Recently, they've gotten a lot bigger than they were decades ago, but still, presidential debates are a big thing, and they've been going on for centuries now. So how is that forward thinking? Because we were thinking a couple months ago that Joe Biden was going to sit out of debates. Well, of course, the DNC doesn't want him to contribute to the debates at all. They don't want him to be involved because he will get hammered in the debates. As we're seeing on this interview here, he refuses to even take a mental capacity test. He doesn't have the respect for himself nor his own mental capacity to take the test to prove to the American people that he is even capable of running this country, of which we already know he isn't. So him taking or not taking the test is only going to further prove that he isn't confident in his own ability to be cognitively aware. That's scary.
Be plenty of time. And by the way, as I joke with him, you know, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Physical and mental fitness. Come on, man. You can't get your mouth to say it right, physical. You can't get your brain to process it right, mental. It's sad, really. It's really sad. So Trump War Room has been hammering this in. A bunch of right-wing people are going to come out, including myself, calling Joe Biden out for this. He's still going to refuse to take that mental capacity test. Apparently he's going to show up to the debates, so that's going to be great. We're going to clap for him, but we're going to watch him get absolutely destroyed because, well, as you can see, he isn't confident in his own mental capacity nor physical capacity, it would seem, to be involved in anything. So cool Uncle Joe is going to be very confident in himself to run, but not quite confident in himself to actually think about anything. That's where we're going to wrap it up for today, folks, but thank you all so much for tuning in, watching the entire video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. If you want to support continued content creation on this channel, be sure to head over to donorbox.org/support-Chandler or hit the link in the description. And if you saw at the beginning of the video, we have some new shirts, so be sure to check them out at teespring.com/store/virus-of-intelligence. But aside from all that, I'll catch you next time, free thinkers. Don't forget to spread the virus of intelligence.